Hey, what's going on, sports fans? TJ Jones here. Welcome to another edition of the State of the NFL podcast, where we talk about some of the hottest topics in all of the National Football League. And this is the Sunday Night Football edition, a live watch along here. We got about 40 seconds left in the second quarter, where the game is tied at 6 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the New York Football Giants. Now, this is a game that both teams desperately need. Both teams coming to this game 0-2. The Kansas City Chiefs travel to the Meadowlands to take on the New York Football Giants. And, you know, both defenses have really stood out today, really have gotten pressure on both quarterbacks. And looking at some of these stats here, as of right now, Patrick Mahomes, 12 of 21, 100 yards. He was sacked twice. Russell Wilson, 7 of 13, 39 yards, and 2 interceptions. I'm wondering when will we possibly see Jackson Dart in this game? We know that Brian Daboll is on the hot seat. This could be one of those situations where he can end up losing his job at the end of this game, you know, but maybe we'll see Jackson Dart. Russell Wilson has not been effective in this game. So we're going to have to see if we're actually going to see him. As we see the handoff here, that's to Isaiah Pacheco to get the first down. We got about 40 seconds left on the clock. And what the Kansas City Chiefs are doing right now, they're at least trying to get into trying to get a field goal out the deal, in these last 40 seconds. All right. So they're out of timeouts right now. So they're trying to figure out a way where they can actually get down the field and, maybe get some extra yards to make Harrison Buckner's field goal a little bit more easier. Special shout out to Chosen. Special shout out to Jeremiah for being here. And he asks who got the ball on the field. TJ, the Kansas City Chiefs have the ball right now with about 40 seconds left in the second quarter. And here we go. Mahomes in a gun. He's looking. He scrambles to his right, and he throws the ball away. And that's not going to be grounded because he was out of the tackle box. So that's going to bring up second down right there. The offensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs over the last couple of weeks have really been an issue for this team. And, Patrick Mahomes has been under duress most of the time. But you look at the Giants, they have a really good, talented pass rush. I mean, we know that they have a dual Carter. You got Brian Burns out there. So they got some really talented players. And also you got Kayvon Thibodeau. So a lot of talent. So here they go. They're trying to pressure him. Thibodeau off the edge. He throws it deep down the field. He has a wide open Thornton, and that pass is tipped away by Paulson Adebo. Paulson Adebo, the former New Orleans Saint, making plays on Tyquan Thornton, who is the Kansas City Chiefs deep threat. So a really good play right there by Paulson Adebo, able to get his hands up. Kayvon Thibodeau able to get around Simmons, the rookie left tackle. And Paulson Adebo almost came away with a pick there. So really good coverage right there by Paulson Adebo. 22 attempts for Patrick Mahomes, only 100 yards, completing only 12 passing, and tries to get the ball to Juju Smith-Schuster, and that pass is incomplete. We do have a flag on the play. Let's see what this flag is about. I'm going to turn it up just a tad bit. It's a smidget. Illegal contact on the defense. All right, so that was on Phillips. So they got him with illegal contact, and that's going to be an automatic first down. Shouts out to all the 119 people watching this right now. Was a little bit behind due to the fact that my other podcast, the State of the Saints podcast, we ran a little late because the Saints played in the 4 o'clock slot, and that was an embarrassment. So a lot of people had something to say. But anyway, 23 seconds left. Patrick Mahomes in a gun. He looks. He has the time. He gets flushed out of the pocket. He rolls to his right. He stiff arms a dual Carter, and he's looking down the field. He throws it deep, and he tried to get Hollywood Brown, and that's going to be a flag. And Phillips again, back-to-back flags. He yanks the back of the jersey of Hollywood Brown. So you got 7 seconds left on the clock, and you probably got one shot at the end zone before you have to kick a field goal. So Phillips trying to, I guess, avoid a big play, he ends up giving up a big play. So that's going to be pass interference. So that's going to set up the Kansas City Chiefs inside of the red zone for a pretty much a chip shot field goal. But I mean, credit to Patrick Mahomes. He gets flushed out of the pocket and he stiff arms a dual Carter. He tells Hollywood Brown to go deep down the field. He chunks it down there. It's like maybe two things that happen here. It's going to be a catch or pass interference, and it was pass interference. So that's a huge play right there. All right, so Juju in motion on his 1st and 10. Patrick Mahomes rolls to his right. He slings it, and he just throws it to the ground, incomplete. So they're probably going to bring in Harrison Buckner to try to get a chip shot field goal here so they can take a 9-6 lead going into the half. This week has me so confident in my Bills. Chiefs look like they're struggling. Yeah, they do look like they're struggling. But I think they're missing Rashee Rice. Like I think Rashee Rice having that 6-game suspension is really affecting him because he is that number one guy. And you got Tyquan Thornton, who is your deep threat. You got Juju more of your possession guy. You also don't have Xavier Worthy out there, who I feel like they probably would have been utilizing quite a bit. His ability to make plays, him being out with that collarbone injury. So they don't really have too many playmakers, man. And then his offensive line is struggling. So this is the best case scenario if you're the Giants. You got Russell Wilson, who turned the ball over twice with 2 interceptions, and you're still in this game. And this game is for the taking right now. So can the Giants try to take advantage of this while you have the Kansas City Chiefs on the ropes? All right, so Andy Reid talking about getting the guys in rhythm. And you can tell, and he's extremely frustrated. And they're showing him, I'm talking Andy Reid and Travis Kelce fussing on the sideline. So, obviously Andy Reid, is holding his veteran tight end responsible, and holding his foot to the fire, which you should. And speaking of New York, former New York Giant, Daniel Jones on 3-0 with his new team. And then we got we had a lot of exciting games that took place on today. A lot of great games. The game versus the Rams and the Eagles probably was the most exciting game that I saw. The Rams looked like they were just dominating that game. And then in the second half, here come the Eagles. And it just seemed like the offensive coordinator just opened up the playbook, allowed Jalen Hurts to go out there and make plays. He got the ball to his playmakers. The special teams of the Rams pretty much fumbled the bag. 2 blocked field goals cost them the game, including the blocked field goal that Jordan Davis, the big man, returned for a touchdown as the time expired on the clock. So the Rams, you could tell they really wanted that game. If you hear Rams players talking about the game, they were talking about how they were the team that came closest to knocking off the Eagles in the playoffs last season, and they were looking forward to that game. And you can tell that they did look forward to the game. But I'm pretty sure the way that both of those teams play, they'll see each other again. They definitely will see each other again. That's a fact, because they are 2 of the best teams in NFC without a doubt. Let's see, TJ, I was listening to Skip cry about the Cowboys loss, but shade Michael Parsons losing. You can shade Michael Parsons all he want to, but I mean the Cowboys, they look like slaughter day. But credit to the Chicago Bears. They heard a lot of scrutiny. People wondering can Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson coexist. I even talked about that on this episode. On this channel on the State of NFL. But credit to Caleb Williams today. He was 19 of 28, 298 yards, 4 touchdowns, had a QBR of 86, quarterback rating of 142.6. So, he was balling today. You look at this offense. Luther Burton, 3 catches, 101 yards. Roma Dunze, 3 catches for 62. DeAndre Swift, 3 catches for 45. And also the defense. The Bears defense wet in the bed last week versus the Detroit Lions, letting them drop 50 on them. They come right back against Dak Prescott, who had 40 attempts. He completed 31 passes for 251 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. So, I mean, credit to the Chicago Bears getting it done. And honestly, pretty much correcting some of the mistakes that got them beat last week in a divisional game that they actually needed. Right, I watched that, TJ. We're talking about the Eagles. Tampa Bay. Yeah, Tampa Bay, that was a really gutsy performance, even though I gotta say, man, they had that game pretty much under control. The Jets came firing back, in the second half, and they had the lead until the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to drive down the field and be able to kick a field goal. So credit to them. Tampa Bay still finding ways to win 3-0 and pretty much got a stranglehold on this division right now. Saints 0-3, Panthers 1-2, Falcons 1-2. So right now they're in the driver's seat. And you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next few games. Let's take a look at them. Pretty winnable stuff. Let me see who they play. Well, that's going to be a tough game next week, but they play the Eagles. Then they got to play the Seahawks, then the 49ers. But, I mean, they're a talented team, and they're not going to just lay down for any team. I don't care if it's the Eagles or not. The Eagles have to come to town, and you also have to travel to the Pacific Northwest. But you got some games that you can actually win if you actually go out there and handle up on business. And if they beat the Eagles on next week, then I think a lot of people are going to have to start paying attention to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for real. Because I already said, I think they are a deep run playoff team, because even when they seem like they down and out, they find ways to win. And that's what good teams do. They find ways to win football games. So got to give them credit in that regard. I like when coaches call out top players. Yep. Got to hold everybody accountable. Not just a rookie that's on a rookie deal, right? You gotta hold guys responsible. Williams has talent for sure. Yeah. Dennis Allen got Dak number. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it, man. I mean, he does well against the Cowboys offense all the time. There's just some other teams he struggled against. If you have a mobile quarterback, you could probably gonna beat the Dennis Allen defense. Bucks stole their flag from the Raiders. Let's see, TJ Collinsworth. Yeah, I wish I had it. TJ Eggman. I wish I had them boys bankroll. TJ, your stream is behind. Oh, I'm pretty sure that it is. I'm pretty sure that it is behind. A lot of people say that, that my streams be a tad bit behind. So I just tell people, just bear with me. Sometimes it might be a play behind. Sometimes I might be on. It depends. I guess it depends on the stream. All those years of the Chiefs running ish is over. I don't know about that. They probably gonna find a way to figure it out. But they just need some playmakers, man. Right now they don't have a really good wide receiver core. They got some guys that can catch the ball, but it's a bunch of role guys. There's no number one guy. It used to be Travis Kelce, but I mean, what he 36, 37 years old? You can't expect much out of a guy like that. And Rashee Rice, he's not there. Xavier Worthy, he's hurt. So, yeah, I just think they're going through the motions right now. Philly said we broke KC. Yeah, probably did. Probably did break them. It seems like they haven't been the same since. My Chiefs will win again soon, I hope. They might win tonight. they may win tonight. I'm saying, Russell Wilson isn't playing like a world beater, and I'm wondering, if they come out in the second half, you got to think about Brian Daboll, his job on the line. A lot of reports saying that this could be his swan song if he go out here and get beat down. You got Russell Wilson not playing well. Will we see Jackson Dart tonight? That's a YouTube thing, usually 30 seconds behind. Yeah, I think that's probably what it is because, hey, we beat them in the Super Bowl too. Yeah, that's true. I mean, but they went right back to the Super Bowl a year after and won it. So y'all got the job done, hello, that year, but they still came back and won the whole freaking thing. So I mean, look, I just think that looking at this game tonight, it seemed like both teams are trying to establish a running game. I mean, Cam Scatterboo, he got into the end zone. It seemed like the Kansas City Chiefs, uh, tried to run the football with Isaiah Pacheco, but we know the Chiefs, they like throw the ball all over the place because you got Patrick Mahomes, but I just think that they need a balanced attack. I mean, you got Isaiah Pacheco, he got 3 carries for 17 yards, he got a 5.7 average. The game is 9-6. Like, why are we not utilizing the running game? I don't think Kansas City do that enough. It's like, man, we got Patrick Mahomes, so let's just throw the ball all over the yard. I mean, it's okay to run the football sometimes, you know. Uh, let's talk a little bit about some of the games that took place on today. The Cincinnati Bengals got beat to sleep by the Minnesota Vikings 48-10. Carson Wentz, who played in this game due to J.J. McCarthy dealing with an ankle injury, and if he continues to play like this, he might have an issue. 14-20 for 173 yards and 2 touchdowns for Carson Wentz. Jordan Mason, 16 carries for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns. He is the starting running back now that Aaron Jones is going to be out for a while. I didn't even realize Cam Akers is back with the Minnesota Vikings. He had 5 carries for 19 yards. Xavier Scott, he has 8 carries for 30. Justin Jefferson, 5 catches for 75 yards. Still hasn't had a touchdown yet. But he had a touchdown in the game versus Chicago Bears, but he didn't have a touchdown today. But the credit has to go to Isaiah Rodgers. I mean, this guy's clearly going to be the NFC Player of the Week. This guy had a pick 6, a fumble pickup for a touchdown, and he also forced a fumble. I mean, dude had the game of his life, so credit to him. Other games, you have the Pittsburgh Steelers knocking off the New England Patriots 21-14. Indianapolis beating the brakes off the Tennessee Titans 41-20. You got to believe that Brian Callahan is probably going to get fired after this season. Jacksonville knocking off the Houston Texans. What is going on with the Houston Texans and C.J. Stroud? They lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars 17-10. Carolina Panthers goose egg the Atlanta Falcons by a score of 30-0. You got the Rams once again in the thriller with the Philadelphia Eagles 33-26. You have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a game winning field goal as time expired 29-27 over the Jets. The Washington Commanders, in the absence of Jaden Daniels, Marcus Mariota plays, but it's no problem. They beat the Las Vegas Raiders 41-24. The Cleveland Browns shocking the Green Bay Packers 13-10 in a defensive struggle right there. You got the Chargers beating the Denver Broncos 23-20. They're now 3-0. The New Orleans Saints lose and get beat down by the Seattle Seahawks 44-13. The San Francisco 49ers 3-0, knocking off the Arizona Cardinals 16-15. Dallas Cowboys fall to the Chicago Bears 31-14. And on Monday Night Football coming up tomorrow, which you will be able to check out right here on the State of NFL podcast channel, the Detroit Lions taking on the Baltimore Ravens in an exciting Monday Night Football matchup. That should be a good one right there. So those are your scores. And, of course, we know about the Thursday Night Football game, the Buffalo Bills beating up on the Miami Dolphins to move to 3-0. Their next game, they're going to be taking on the New Orleans Saints. And that should be 4-0 for them. Let's see. I wish the Saints was good. Missed them 2018, 2019 days. Yeah, it's been a while since the New Orleans Saints have been good, man. And it's embarrassing to watch that football team play right now. Growing up as a New Orleans Saints fan, as you all can see my hat, I grew up watching this team, man. Like, grew up pretty much rooting for this football team, man. But at the end of the day, got to call a spade, man. Not a good football team right now, and don't seem like they're going to be a good football team for a while. But we do have a lot of good football teams in the National Football League, and we're going to be covering and talking about them here on the State of the NFL podcast. So make sure that you all keep it locked right here. Mahomes don't be thinking when he throws. I'm not going to lie. I think sometimes, like, I think sometimes he has that, that risk it all type mentality, but I don't know, man. Maybe he should have kept the mohawk because I don't know that taper fade. He ain't been the same. Taper fade Mahomes ain't working for me. Maybe he need to go back to the Caesar, or the South of France as they call it. Not the Caesar. The Caesar just mean you got a little haircut. More like the South of France, right? That's what you need to go back to because taper fade Mahomes ain't cutting it now. You got to figure it out. But here we go. Start of the second half. We got a return. And he tries to get around the corner, but he goes absolutely nowhere. And now we're going to, see if the Kansas City Chiefs can come in and try to respond. After being able to kick a field goal, getting the ball back. So see if they can actually add on to this 9-6 lead that they have right now. We're looking at Brian Daboll once again on the hot seat. 1st and 10. Got Travis Kelce in motion. Patrick Mahomes in the gun. Hands the ball off to Isaiah Pacheco. He gets up the field. He fights for extra yards. He spins. He gets past the line of scrimmage, but he got about 2 or 3 yards on the play. And that's going to bring up 2nd down. So, once again, Isaiah Pacheco in the first half, 5.7-yard average. So, maybe they need to go ahead and get started running the football again. Brian Burns talking this stuff, lip wrestling and yip yapping, but your team is down by 3 points. But credit to them, man. The defensive line is really attacking right now. It's a play action. Mahomes rolls to the right, and he passes the ball. He's complete to Hollywood Brown, and that's enough for the 1st down. So Hollywood Brown getting involved. Last time we seen, he's on Phillips again. Mahomes throws the ball down the field to Hollywood Brown, and Phillips was called on a pass interference call. So a tough night for Phillips, the cornerback for the New York Football Giants. All right, so here we go. It's 1st and 10, 13:56 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Just started. All right, so here we go. You got Mahomes under center, sends the receiver in motion and hand it off to Pacheco. Pacheco fights, and he gets about 7 or 8 yards on the play. So that's going to bring up a very manageable 2nd down. And once again, Isaiah Pacheco running pretty hard. We know last season, man, he had that serious knee injury. I felt like it really affected him even though he came back. And now he seems like he's healthier. We know that he runs very violently. And that's what they're going to need, man. Really good 1-2 punch they have in Kansas City when they're rocking and rolling. All right. Hollywood Brown in motion. Hand the ball off once again to Isaiah Pacheco, but this time he's met by Abdul Carter, and he stopped. And I want to say maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, but that's about it. So that's going to bring up about a 3rd and 2. No gain on the play. So really good instinctive play by Abdul Carter, the New York Giants' first pick in the 1st round of this past draft back in 2025, of course. Coming out of Penn State, who are known for having some really good linebackers throughout the years. 3rd and 3, where he actually lost a yard. Patrick Mahomes in the gun. Here's the snap, looking, and he passes it. It's complete to Travis Kelce, and Travis Kelce gets the 1st down, and he gets close to the 30-yard line. So Travis Kelce, after having a little bit of a exchange on the sidelines with head coach Andy Reid, he comes out. He's still fired up. Really good move right there. He's able to spin out, and Mahomes finds him. And what a combo they have been over the years, man. Travis Kelce is not the same player he was 5-6 years ago, but he's still effective. All right. So Noah Gray in motion. Here we go. Looking. That pass is caught, and I believe that's Hollywood Brown. He gets close to the 1st down, so that's about 7 or 8 yards here. So the Kansas City Chiefs come out the locker room firing on all cylinders, able to convert 2 3rd downs, and now they are threatening to try to build on this lead. Taking a look at Malik Neighbors and Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson trying to bounce back from a two interception first half. All right. So here we go. Smith in motion. You got Mahomes under center, and they pass it off to him, and he goes in around, and he spins, and he gets the first down. They're fighting. They're trying to yank the ball out of his hands, but he's not letting that go. So really good run by Smith on the end around. And that was kind of similar to a play that they called earlier. Smith was in motion on the last play, but they handed it off to Pachenko. So that was, a dual Carter. They probably thought they seen that play before, but this time they actually hand the ball off to Smith. He goes around. So that's one of those plays where you seen before, and they got Smith in motion again. Will this be a running play this time? Instead, they hand the ball off to Isaiah Pachenko, and he gets around the side, and he gets out of bounds pretty close to the first down. They may even give it to him. So right now, the New York Giants defense head is spinning right now because of the motion of the Kansas City Chiefs. You send Smith in motion, you got to account for that because he just had a really big gain on the end around. So they fake it off to him, hand it off to Isaiah Pachenko. He's able to get around the corner really, really fast. And like I said, that's when you have your eyes moving in the backfield if you're the defense. Isaiah Pachenko takes his hand off, and he leans forward for about 4 or 5 yards on the play. So this is going to bring up second down. The Kansas City Chiefs are in the red zone. They are in the red zone right now, and they're trying to cash it in to try to build on this lead. And if they can do that, then this can be really great for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a tad bit confusion right here on the 2nd and 6. There's a little bit of confusion right here. And here's a completion to Juju Smith-Schuster, and he gets tackled right before he's able to get to the first down mark. So Brian Burns is able to get around the side. There was a little bit of confusion there by the Giants. I thought that maybe, the Kansas City Chiefs will be able to take advantage of that, but I digress. This is going to be a 3rd and 3 for the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, you got Hollywood Brown at the bottom of your screen. And looking, and that pass is caught by Tyquan Thornton for the touchdown. And the Kansas City Chiefs building on this lead, and now the game is 15-6. So the New York Football Giants, who played a pretty good first half defensively, and Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs is able to come out of the locker room and be able to put some points on the board. So credit to them. 16-6 Chiefs lead, TJ. Yeah, I just saw that touchdown pass by Tyquan Thornton, paying dividends since coming over to the Kansas City Chiefs. Been more of a deep threat for these guys. And, good he's finding success in Kansas City. All right, but anyway, shouts out to everybody that's watching this right now. Much love to you. No matter if you're a fan of these two teams, the Kansas City Chiefs or the New York Giants, really do appreciate your time. Could have been watching this anywhere, but you're watching it with yours truly, and I don't take that for granted. I really do appreciate it. I ask that you subscribe to the channel. We do this every single primetime game, Monday night football games. We're watching, we're doing watch-alongs there. And also we talk about some of the hottest topics pertaining to the National Football League. So if you're into NFL talk, if you're into live watch-alongs, make sure you subscribe to the channel, help the channels to grow. I really appreciate that. I'm going to take this moment to go ahead and put that link for the state of NFL in the comments. So if you want to join the channel, if you want to take a look at it, let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, or you just enjoy the commentary in general, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I'll really appreciate that. Go ahead and do that right now. Put that link in there so y'all can get that. Rissa, I appreciate that. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I really do appreciate that. It means a lot. It means a lot to me that you subscribe to the channel. And hopefully, we don't put you to sleep over here. We try to keep it exciting. And also, even if we're talking about the game, we're here watching the game. If you want to ask a question about your team, feel free to do so. If you got something to say about your team, like, put it in the comments. We'll definitely read it. We're very interactive over here. Oh yeah, those days are over. Back to those paper bag Rouses has plenty. Look, you can, man, people can say what they want to say, but man, the Saints are down, but they ain't gonna be like that forever. I'm sure they're not. I'm sure they're not. But at the end of the day, the cream always rises to the top. You should know that. Hello, yeah, your team has been terrible for decades. So if anybody know that teams are only going to get, it's a matter of time for teams start to get better, you should. I mean, a couple of years ago, trust and believe, if it was 2016, 2015, 2014, I don't think too much talking would be going on if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. They just keep it a buck. They just keep it all the way 100. Like the one that you talking loudest because your team winning. But I remember when Tampa Bay fans were quiet as church mice. They don't trust they can hang with us straight up. That's what the Seahawks said when the Saints went for it on fourth down early. Yeah, I agree, man. Look, I just think that the Saints got outclassed today. They got outclassed. They got outcoached. And the Seattle Seahawks are a good football team, man. Look, Mike McDonald is a really solid coach. And, I think that Seattle, they do things the right way with their organization. And when you have an organization that does it the right way, I mean, you're going to win a lot of football games and you're going to have sustainable success. So, man, credit to Seattle, man. Like they just find ways, man. You get rid of Russell Wilson in a trade. You bring in Geno Smith, still make it to the postseason, right? I mean, you got Sam Darnold right now. You're 3-0 as a football team. All right, some teams just do things the right way. And you got other teams that just need to learn from it. But Jackson Dart is in a game right now. So Russell Wilson is on the sidelines. Let's see what's going to come of this. All right, Scatterboo in motion. He's looking. He tries to scramble, and he gets tackled. All right, so Jackson Dart is in the game right now. Let's see. Okay, so he just comes in for a play, and in comes Russell Wilson. So I don't know what's up with that. So I don't know, man. I mean, I wish I would have checked out the reception when Jackson Dart came out there. I would have loved to hear the reception. Were they cheering, giving him a, giving him a standing ovation or something? Because y'all already know the best quarterback is always the backup quarterback on a football team. Hey, I talk if we lose or not, TJ. I'm a real fan, not like Saints fans. I got Saints fans at work talking about they don't want to be a fan of the team anymore. Well, nah, look, let's just call a spade a spade. Hello. You got a lot of Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans that end up becoming Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans when Tom Brady came along. Seriously. And then all of a sudden, Baker Mayfield came and kept them there. So, and them Saints fans that you talking to on probably ain't they not real Saints fans. They talking about giving up. They fair weather. And you should know something about that because the majority of Tampa Bay fans from 2020 to the present are fair weather fans. And as soon as any line of trouble happens, trust and believe, they ain't gonna be around no more. Which I hope ain't the case, but I'm just serious, man. I've been doing these podcasts in 2018. I ain't started seeing the energy change in Tampa until 2020. But I'm not referring to you though. Hello, I know you're a real true Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. I know that for a fact. I'm just talking about some of these Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans. But anyway, it's 4th and 4. 4th and 4, the New York Giants are going to punt, and I'm just wondering, like, when are they going to yank Russell Wilson? Because it seems like the ball isn't moving, and that ball was almost blocked. I don't know how in the world he got that off, and he's returning it, and he gets tackled. I don't know why he just didn't call for a fair catch there. Accelerator says, "Do you believe me, TJ?" Believe what, Josh? I'm not sure. Okay. Oh, Raiders won 75-0. I promise. Oh, nah. They got beat down. I believe they were in New Orleans Saints territory when it comes to the beat down today. I think the Commanders scored 41 points. Scored 41 points in that game. Tough day at the office for the Saints. Tough day at the office for the Raiders. Trust the process, big dog. This is how most foundations get laid. 4 or 5 wins at best. I'm just glad football is back. Yeah, I do trust the process, man, but I don't trust what I'm seeing on the field when it comes to undisciplined play. I don't like that. I can understand like a team like going through a rebuild and trying to figure it out, but what I don't understand is a team goes out there, shoot themselves in the foot, and constantly make mistakes. Like those are the type of things that make me wonder, like, what type of organization are you trying to build over here? They don't trust they can hang with us straight. I think I already read that. Yeah, the Seattle Seahawks put boots to behind today. Worst O-line play I have seen from an NFL team. The Raiders line couldn't cut it on a high school team. I don't know, bro. Josh, I seen some pretty bad offensive line play over the last couple of weeks. Bengals, Saints, Raiders. Who else? Who else am I missing? Vikings. Even though they look pretty good today, like the offensive line play has been horrible. Horrid. I haven't been this upset about a Saints game in a minute. Yeah, I was upset, and I've been pretty even keel. It was just the way that they looked today. No heart, no passion, no nothing. But I'm pretty sure Bengal fans can say that too. No heart, no passion, no nothing. And you got Jake Browning out there. What he was, 19 of 27, 140 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, sacked 3 times, QBR of 23. Whew. Yeah. You can smell that. You can smell that all the way from Minnesota right now where I'm at. That was just a bad performance, man. That was god awful. God awful. I mean, they turned the ball. They had more turnovers than a bakery in that game. I'm talking Minnesota. I'm like, my goodness. Cincinnati turned the ball over so much. I mean, them boys picked up more turnovers than a bakery. Patrick Mahomes on the last drive was 5 for 5 for 45 yards as we pick up with the Kansas City Chiefs on a 1st and 10. Ball is on the 19-yard line. You got Hollywood Brown in motion. Mahomes in a gun, hands the ball off to Kareem Hunt. He leans forward for about 2 or 3 yards. So the Kansas City Chiefs are trying to utilize their running game, which I feel like they should have did in the first place instead of trying to throw the ball all over the place, which it seems like that's what they felt Kansas City was going to do, the New York Giants defense. So they're going to have to run the football, man. Try to find creative ways to try to get the football down the field, like mix it up. I like how they did on the last drive. They used motion. But 2nd and 7, Mahomes in a gun, might get a flag here, but no. All right, try to get around the side. That's Tyquan Thornton, and he beats Paulson Adebo, and he's able to get a few more yards on the play. So this is going to set up about a 3rd and 2 or a 3rd and 1. Very manageable 3rd down for the Kansas City Chiefs, who lead 16-6 right now. I hope Mickey Loomis is going after this year. Don't we all? Don't we all? My line today, 8 holding calls. Look, and still found a way to win. Good teams find ways to win, man. All right, 3rd and 2. Kareem Hunt in motion. He goes back and looking. That pass is complete to Noah Gray, and that's enough for a 1st down. So Noah Gray, the second tight end on the team, who was always really good in the red zone, short yardage situation. And, he's a guy that as Travis Kelce gets towards the twilight of his career, he's a guy that's probably going to be counted on by the Kansas City Chiefs to make plays. All right, so really good pass and catch right there to keep the drive alive. Speaking of Noah Gray, he's in motion right now. He goes from left to right, and a handoff, a delayed handoff to Kareem Hunt. He tries to stiff arm Abdul Carter, but Abdul Carter is able to take him down, and Kareem Hunt gets about 2 or 3 yards on the play. So Kareem Hunt, in his second stint with the Kansas City Chiefs, was signed last year. They liked the way that he was running when Isaiah Pacheco was out. They decided to bring him back again. And we all know that, when he was in his first stint with the Kansas City Chiefs, he was one of the best running backs in football. He's a little older now, but he still is effective and a really good complementary running back in their backfield. All right, so 2nd and 8, you got Hollywood Brown in motion, moving from left to right. Mahomes in the gun, 3 wide receiver set. They hand the ball off to Kareem Hunt. He gets up the field, and he stays on his feet, and he's able to get 1 more yard. So he gets really close to the first down. So I think this is going to set up a 3rd and 1. Going to set up a 3rd and 1. So let's see if they can keep this drive alive. Seeing a heavy dose of Kareem Hunt on his drive, unlike the last drive where we seen Isaiah Pacheco. So Andy Reid mixing it up between his running backs, trying to keep them healthy, understanding that this game is close and might have to ride these running backs to try to milk the clock. All right, so 3rd and 1 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Hollywood Brown in motion. And, whoa. That was a really good play design right there. They had Tyquan Thornton wide open. And right now, Patrick Mahomes is trying to signal to the sideline saying, let's go for it. That was a really good play right there. That was a really good play design. You got Noah Gray and Kareem Hunt, and you got them in motion. Everybody's paying attention, looking at Hollywood Brown. Of course, a couple of the plays that the Kansas City Chiefs had that involved motion worked. All right, so here we go. All right, so we got a timeout. And this is about the Giants. So they understand the magnitude of this play. You got to get yourself a timeout. Maybe take a look at what Kansas City is going to approach you with. And maybe they can try to make this adjustment because they understand they have got to be able to get this stop on the Kansas City Chiefs, because right now it seems like all the momentum is shifting towards the Chiefs' way. Just so you know, TJ, I'm a Tampa fan, my girl a Saints fan. Okay, well, a house divided. They say it can't stand, but in football, it involves some fun times. It's all some fun times. Test back Stevens, knew it. Giants got to do work. Okay, so it looks like they decided to change it up and go for the punt instead of going for it on a 4th and 1. So the Giants, by calling a timeout, made the Kansas City Chiefs think about it. All right, so here's the punt. High, and it's going to be returned. Tries to get around the side, spins, and gets a few yards on the play, but not nothing to write home about. So it's going to set up the New York Football Giants to try to get down the field, and they're not going to be able to tie the game or anything like that, but they can get the game within 3 with a touchdown and a field goal. Today, I turned the Saints game. My girl said, what they cut the game off. I said, no, I turned it, but I'll turn it back for you. I'm shocked. I was shocked they didn't switch to another game. That's what I was shocked about. I thought for a fact I wasn't going to be able to see the 4th quarter of that game. And I'm pretty sure that wasn't like one of those games that was being seen everywhere. I'm pretty sure it was like local, like if you're in Seattle or you're in New Orleans or something. So most people probably was watching another game that was on CBS at that time slot. But man, if it was one of those games, I'm pretty sure they probably would have switched to another football game. I wonder, did anybody that was in a region where the Saints played the Seahawks, did they switch games? Did they switch the games, or did they let it just ride all the way through? Because the game was pathetic. It's pathetic, like when the commentators start talking about old different football footage and putting up funny pictures of cameramen and stuff. Like, they basically just doing filler. It's been a while since I seen the New Orleans Saints game involve filler. Like, it's sad, man. Like, them boys up there showing like old pictures of football players and I believe they had McCourty up in there. He was calling a game. They had him out there. Like, it was bad, man. Like, them boys was doing filler on the New Orleans Saints. Steelers O-line look bad too. Oh yeah, I gotta throw them in there too. Yeah, they look pretty bad. They pretty awful, man. All right, so let me ask you a question: who is the best team in the NFL after 3 weeks? Who is the best team in the NFL after 3 weeks? Me personally, I think it's the Buffalo Bills. I think the Buffalo Bills are the best team in football. What about you? Who is the best team in the National Football League right now? I'm gonna have to go with Buffalo. I think Philadelphia is up there too. I think Philly, even though they almost lost today, but good teams find ways to win. If you were the coach, what would be the game plan for the Bills? Pray, pray. Don't make mistakes. Try to, I don't know. Pray. I can't see. There's no way in guys on guys green earth I see the Saints winning this football game at all. Like, there's nothing. Like, I'm serious. I don't see it, man. I don't. I don't see any. Like, if the Saints win this game, this will be one of the greatest upsets, or one of the greatest upsets in New Orleans Saints history. It will probably be like that game on Monday Night Football when the Saints played the Patriots, and I think that was the year that they went to the Super Bowl. They'll have to be up there with that. I'm telling you, I don't see any. I don't see any way the Saints can beat the the Buffalo Bills. I don't. Like, I feel like I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck with y'all. Like, if I don't know who's the backup quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, I feel like if they backup quarterback played, the Saints would still lose. No, that Atlanta game after Katrina. Would you call that an upset? You'll call that an upset? Like, I don't know, man. I'm talking about, like, everybody just expected for the Saints to lose. Like, everybody. All right, so it's at the end of the third quarter. The New York Football Giants. I'm talking to hello, so it made me think about Tampa. The New York Football Giants are losing to the Kansas City Chiefs 16-6. I don't see us beating the Giants. I don't see the Saints beating too many people. Hold that, bro. It might be a better outcome. Never know. Bro, I don't have no faith in the Saints. I'm sorry, man. I don't have any faith in the New Orleans Saints. I don't want to turn this into a New Orleans Saints show, man. We have another podcast for that, but I don't have any faith in the Saints. None. Zilch, zero, to do absolutely nothing this season. Not a thing. Like, I'm, I don't have any hope in this football team. It is what it is at this point, man. Take the good with the good, the bad with the bad, but this is not a good football team, and it's not like how it was in years past where you can find some type of hope, and maybe they start off real slow. They normally would do that, and then they catch fire, and they're probably going to win a streak. I don't see none of that happen because it's not a good football team. You got a team that's structured to pretty much just kind of stay in games for the most part, but you don't have a team that's going to win anything. You got a quarterback in Spencer Rattler who's out there doing his best, but at this stage is not good enough to win you a football game. And, he'll probably keep you in the game, but you need other guys around him. You don't have the wide receivers. Running back, God bless Alvin Kamara. I mean, the offensive line can't open up holes in order for them to run through. The defense, getting sliced through like Swiss cheese. Swiss cheese defense. Now the special teams out here giving up plays that they haven't gave up in over a decade. The Saints are what they are right now, man. And I'm not about to sit up here and waste my time and believe in a team that's not very good. TJ, you're sinning. The Bible commands us to have faith in the Saints. Yeah, the Saints in heaven, not the New Orleans Saints, because I don't have any faith in them boys this season. I'm sorry. The little bit of hope that I had, like, man, maybe I'll see something promising, died today. I wouldn't call the Monday Night Football game in 2009 an upset. The Saints were 10-0 during that time. Um, yeah, I mean they were pretty good. What did the Saints go that season? They went 10 and wait, they weren't 10-0 that year. And what you say, 2009 the upset? Are we talking about with the New England Patriot game? Are we talking about the New England Patriot game or the Atlanta Falcons? Nah, that New England Patriot game, that definitely was an upset. Because the Patriots were one of the best teams in the league. And not only did the Saints beat them, I don't think Tom Brady scored a touchdown in that game. TJ said they can run through an automatic door. Man, they got an automatic door offensive line. That's what they got. But the problem is the door, nobody turned the switch on. So everybody just running clean into the door. Yeah, he stepped out of bounds. That was a really good effort by Robinson, but he stepped out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds. Really good effort though. I like Wan'Dale Robinson, man. I think he's a talented number 2. So they're going to call it illegal touching. So he went out of bounds, came back. It's kind of lost himself on the field, but he tried, man. The Patriots were only 7-3, I believe. Only 7-3. Our team and our coaches are too passive. All right, so we got a second and 10 for Russell Wilson and the New York Football Giants, down 16-6. You got Malik Neighbors. They're showing his face like he shaking his head. Man, let's make some plays here. Y'all scored 40 points last week, 6 this week. I don't know. With a real New York Giants offense, please stand up. All right, so we got Johnson in motion. All right. Russell Wilson in the gun looking. He passes. That pass is caught by Malik Neighbors. So that's going to bring about a 3rd and 5. So finally getting Malik Neighbors involved in the game. Know how talented he is. He just wants the football, man, and somebody to throw the ball to him. What's up, TJ? Finally able to catch it live. I'm always an after show boy these days, but I'm trying to catch replays. I'm still here, TJ. I'm always is my work schedule. Look, I appreciate that, D. I appreciate you being here and supporting the channel. D pass down the field, and that pass is almost intercepted. Tries to get the ball to Malik Neighbors, and my goodness, Malik Neighbors is in pain right now. Him and Brian Cook are both on the ground. You know, both tried to go up for the football, and Malik Neighbors look like he's holding his shoulder, man. He's holding his shoulder, and that's not what you want to see if you're a New York Giant fan. You're number 1 receiver. But let's see what's going on. He jumps up, and he goes down, and, man, he tries to, ooh. That doesn't look good, ladies and gentlemen. He collides into Williams, and he tries to survive the ground. And it looked like he may have landed on his shoulder, man. So that is not a good look right there. So you got 2 players shaking up on the field. They're going to take a little commercial break. Man, you hate to see that from Malik Neighbor. You know, hate to see that. Really good, talented wide receiver. I mean, you watching in slow motion, and of course, it's not going to look as severe as it is in real time, but Death on Wing Sports Podcast. If I can remember correctly, the Saints are the Tom Brady struggle with the team that Tom Brady struggled with the most. I agree. Yeah, he hasn't had much success with the Saints, against the Saints. But I mean, they did beat the Saints in the divisional round in Drew Brees' final game. So I guess that's all that matters. Neighbors, my nephew dates his cousin. Okay. Man, that's, you know, have you ever met Malik Neighbors, or you just kind of know that? Have you ever seen him in person or something? I'm just trying to stroll up, try to see if there was some comments that I missed here. 274 people watching this across platforms. Just ask that you hit the like button. The Saints thought they got destroyed by the Hawks. They go get demolished by the Bills. Yeah, that game gonna get ugly, man. If the Saints anywhere in that game, like anywhere in that game. Like that's a win. Clayton Isbell Sr. Says, do you think Rattler is the answer? Seemed like he has some tools to build on. I just think that you need to build the team around him, Clayton. And shouts out to your son, man. I watched him quite a bit play at Coastal Carolina, man. Really good, solid safety right there. But anyway, yeah, man, you just have to put some players around him, man. You gotta put some players around him in order for him to be able to, be able to thrive. Like he's not the type of quarterback that you're going to win games because he's your quarterback. Like maybe one day he will, but he's just not that. And you need to put some pieces around him too, for him to be able to thrive. Like you don't have to, like you have a bunch of small, passive wide receivers that, if they're not catching the ball down the field on a deep pass, like what else can they do? All those short intermediate routes and like man, I just want to like the Saints need a number one receiver. They need a number one receiver. Plain and simple. That's how they're gonna get out of the situation that they're in right now. 4th and 6 for the New York Football Giants. They decided to go for it. Robinson in motion, moving from left to right. All right, let's see if they can convert this. Snap, looking, pass, and it's caught by Robinson. He throws, and he footballs the football. Picked up by Connor, the linebacker, but there is a flag on the play. Robinson looked like he shot. Like, did I just fumble that? Yes, you did, my friend. But there's a flag on the play. Let's see what this is about. You got the referees. They're trying to figure it out. You got Andy Reid looking in suspense, trying to figure out, is this a fumble recovery? So you got pass interference on the defense. So there is no fumble, ladies and gentlemen. On number 22, the best corner on their team, Trent McDuffie, was had a pretty rough season, man. All right, so Robinson able to cut through. As we can see the contact right there, but he still catches the football. But, of course, he comes back around, and it's a football, but it don't count. So the Giants live to fight another day, ladies and gentlemen, after Trent McDuffie, a very decorated football player, is called on a pass interference penalty. All right, so here we go. New setup down for the New York Giants after converting a 4th and 6. And here's the handoff. Well, there's play action. And Russell tries to go downfield. This time it's a catch by Scatterboo. And Scatterboo barrels his way to a first down. So Cam Scatterboo, I mean, this guy has been a lightning bug for the Giants team, man. We all know that he's not afraid. He's not afraid of that contact. We know all those years at Arizona State, he's been a guy that is very reliable. And when you have a guy like this on your football team, a true football player, like relishes in contact. All right, so here we go. 1st and 10. Play action. Looking. Robinson dumps it off to the tight end. Stays on his feet. Gets down to about, I'll say he got about 5 yards on the play. That's Manhurst, who has been around for quite some time. I can remember him playing for the Carolina Panthers, more of a blocking tight end. Chris Manhurst has been around for a while. And, every now and then he'll catch a pass like that. All right, so he got like 7 yards. So here comes Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart is on the field. I think the Giants are pretty much saying something without saying something here, trying to get Jackson Dart involved. All right, so here we go. And here's a handoff to Cam Scatterboo. Scatterboo breaks a tackle. He gets enough for the first down. They hand the ball off, and are they going to keep Jackson Dart in the game? They're going to keep him in the game. There's a handoff to Cam Scatterboo right there. Seemed like that was more of a RPO thing, run pass option, giving Jackson Dart an opportunity to maybe tuck it and take it himself. But it's a 1st and 10 for Jackson Dart and the New York Giants. Can you imagine if they score on this drive, how the New York Giants fans are going to feel? All right, so here we go. Cam Scatterboo almost broke through. But he got about 2 or 3 yards on the play. That's going to bring up second down. And we see Brian Cook look like he's on his way to the locker room. The former Cincinnati Bearcat has been with the Kansas City Chiefs his entire career. I think he's maybe in his 4th season. All right, so Cam Scatterboot tried to fight forward. Malik Neighbors, luckily back into the game after looking like he was dealing with a serious injury. Maybe got the wind knocked out of him or something. All right, so here we go. In the gun, Russell Wilson rolls to his right. Wide open, Darius Slayton. And he is tackled. But he got a few yards on the play. Very few. Seemed like that play that was promising, but credit to the Kansas City Chiefs defense, able to corral him really, really quickly. So Darius Slayton, a guy who has been with the Giants for quite some time, and we have an injury on the field there. All right, so we got a defensive lineman down on the field for the Kansas City Chiefs. Hopefully it's nothing serious. But right now it seems like the Kansas City Chiefs defense is reeling right now. Isaiah Rodgers had a historic day with 2 defensive touchdowns, a pick six, and a fumble return, and 2 forced fumbles in the Vikings' dominant 48-10 win. Oh yeah, that boy had the game of his life. That's the type of game where everybody look ain't even no need for you to waste your time. Who's the NFC Defensive Player of the Week? It's Isaiah Rodgers. Go ahead and send it to him. Like I think they announced it on Tuesday. Just go ahead and send it to him today. And don't need to waste anybody else's time. Unless the next game that we see, Baltimore and Detroit, somebody tops that, might as well just go ahead and give it to him. You already said it, historical territory. So when you're saying stuff like that, you already know. All right, so here we go. Believe this is a second down. No, excuse me, 3rd and 4. And they try to hand off, and Russell Wilson tries to take it himself, and he gets nothing on the play. And that's Kalaftis right there. They're really good pass rush. So that's 4th and 5. And that was a squandered opportunity for the Giants. They were able to get a pass interference penalty on the 4th and 6 to keep it alive. And right now, you got Graham Gano coming out there to kick a pretty much a chip shot field goal here, but you don't want to be trading field goals with the Kansas City Chiefs. 25-yard attempt by Graham Gano, snap placement, kick on the way, and it is good. So not the points that you wanted, but it could be the points you needed. If you can get a stop, you can set yourself up to possibly tie this game up with the Kansas City Chiefs. But once again, you do not want to be trading field goals with the Chiefs, with Patrick Mahomes in the 4th quarter. Scatterboo is electric. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He got it, I think. We talking about here. It says may need a number 2 receiver too. Who needs a number 2 receiver? Who we talking about here? Who needs a number 2 receiver? I kind of came in at the tail end of that comment. So I don't know exactly what we're talking about or who needs what. So at the end of the day, I need somebody to catch me up. Did the Chiefs get worse in the offseason? I haven't followed their moves as a team. I don't think they got bad. I mean, they end up adding to their offensive line, but they never really had a really good offensive line to begin with. They didn't have one. So, I just think that when it happens, right? It happens when you have yourself a all-world player, right? Especially at the quarterback position. You got Patrick Mahomes demanding a certain amount of money. Travis Kelce and Kalaftis and Chris Jones and if you're not like hitting in a draft with these wide receivers, like it could be tough. But I mean, to their defense, like you don't have Rashee Rice, you don't have Xavier Worthy, and those are 2 guys that you're going to be relying on for the foreseeable future to be your top wide receivers. You're rolling with Juju Smith-Schuster, who at this stage is just basically like a possession guy. You got Tyquan Thornton out there. He's more of your D threat. And you got Hollywood Brown, who basically is your route runner. And then you got Travis Kelce out there as your utility blanket, and Noah Gray as your blocking tight end. Then you got your running backs with Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. But you need some firepower. You need some firepower at the wide receiver position. That's what they don't have right now. The NFL catches up quick. Yeah. Especially if you're not like, I'm talking about one bad offseason can set you back a couple of years. Like, if you whiff on draft picks, if guys get hurt, man, you make a bad decision when it comes to a guy in a contract, maybe letting a guy go that you shouldn't, it can set your team back, man. It can set your team back. All right, so Graham Gano, we take a look at him, who is responsible for all of the points tonight by the Giants. And this is a return, and he gets tackled right away. You know, the craziest thing about it is this is yet another week where you have another team who are basically kicking all field goals. Last week, we seen the Falcons pretty much kick their way to victory over the Minnesota Vikings. And now we're seeing that the Giants are trying to kick their way back into this game. But I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time. You keep on giving Patrick Mahomes opportunities to beat you, he will. Pause. Can't wait for the NFC South Roundtable 30-0 by Carolina. Yeah, I mean, look, that is pretty funny, man. But, I mean, when your team get beat 44-13, like, how much talking can you do on the NFC South Roundtable? But it is pretty funny, though. Like, not scoring any points. Like, they didn't score anything. I know for a fact the Falcons didn't expect that. If the Saints could get a second for Olave, I'll do it. If the Saints can get a third for Olave, I'm doing it. I'm serious, man. Like, this dude ain't it. He is not it. Chris Olave is not it. Like, really, like, he's a complimentary. I put it like this. If you are going to get yourself a number one receiver in the offseason through the draft, or, maybe in free agency, then yeah. But he's up for a contract. And the Saints better not get this dude a contract extension. If they get this dude a contract extension, it better be about as sensible as any contract that we've ever seen. Because this dude does not deserve number one receiver money. Maybe one day he go to the right team. Maybe he'll get it. And really good catch right there. That's by Tyquan Thornton, who's having a really good night, man. Tyquan Thornton really stepping up, making plays for the Kansas City Chiefs tonight. Now, he's been Johnny on the spot, man. So he's really coming into his own. And it's good to see that, man. I mean, he started his career with the New England Patriots, didn't really find success there. Seems like he has a really good connection with Patrick Mahomes. He relies on him. He trusts him. All right, so, man, Mahomes took a hit on that one. All right, so here we go. Smith in motion. They're going to throw it to him. Man, I like that play. I like that end around play. I actually had Paxton. Doing it. And for those that don't know, Paxton is my 6-year-old son who plays flag football. So I had him actually doing that play in the backyard where, he goes behind the quarterback and runs, while he's in stride and throw him the football. I really love that play, man. I seen the Kansas City Chiefs do it the other night. And if I have anything to do with it, they're gonna do that play next week in the game. In their next flag football game. So here we go. Here's a pass. That pass is caught by Hollywood Brown on a 2nd and 2, and that's enough for a first down. So once again, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, they are trying to get their first win of the season, get that monkey off their back, so to speak. And right now, you look at the Giants defense, look like they're breathing pretty heavy. Kansas City pretty much has control, clock on their side, all 3 timeouts. 1st and 10 for the Kansas City Chiefs. And they hand the ball off to Isaiah Pacheco. He tries to get around the side, and he gets met by the linebacker. And he probably got a yard on the play. All right. So that was a Karake. And he gets around the side. I mean, really good burst right there. He gets off the block and he just gets to the backfield and really good tackle right there. Really good sound tackle. All right, so here we go. 2nd and 10. Now we're a little under 7 minutes. Throws the ball down the field, and that is to Dorton. And they're going to call that a touchdown. Oh, they're going to call that a touchdown. And I got to admit, I have to admit, ladies and gentlemen, I think it is. All right, so he catches the ball. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Did the ball move? Oh, no, that's going to be incomplete, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be incomplete. He did not survive the ground. That is not a catch. That is going to be incomplete. Really good effort right there by Tyquan Thornton, but that is incomplete. Really good effort, though. I mean, he tried to lean out, tried to survive the ground, but, man. So the New York Giants catch a break. I mean, but despite that, I mean, Tyquan Thornton has had a really good night tonight. Take a look at his stats. See how he performed tonight. But I've been every time I look up, he's making plays. 3rd and 10 for the Kansas City Chiefs. You got Kareem Hunt in motion, goes to the backfield. And I guess Patrick Mahomes expects for the blitz to come. He needs him to pick it up. And he rolls, throws the ball down the field. And whoa, what a catch. Tyquan Thornton, have yourself a night, young man. What a catch on a 1st and goal. Look, I know sometimes you can get upset at a cornerback. Perfect coverage right there. That was just an incredible catch. That was incredible. And Phillips is having a night from hell. The night from hell continues for Phillips. And what a catch by Tyquan Thornton. My goodness. I mean, this man is having himself a night. This man is having a night, ladies and gentlemen. 5 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown for a guy who is mostly the deep threat of the team. And they try to give it to Kareem Hunt, and he barrels his way in for the touchdown. Say this man too little on. It's too little. Too little. Kareem Hunt with the touchdown. And I think that might be just enough to do it. So if you're the New York Giants, are you going to allow Jackson Dart to finish up this game? That is the question. Okay, we got a flag on the play. As Matt Nagy, really excited about that. It seemed like Andy Reid firing up the troops. All right, so they're giving on unsportsmanlike conduct because he gave the cutthroat. That was a heck of a catch. So he had back-to-back catches. Back-to-back, like for a spectacular catch. One he didn't catch, the other one he did. And the one that he caught the second time was tougher than the first. This guy is playing out his mind. Yeah, he is definitely playing out his mind. He is playing out his freaking mind here tonight. What a performance, man. Oh, the NFL is getting so soft. Yeah. They don't want the throw slash. Mike Evans went out today with a hamstring. Well, when you got Emeka Ibuka and Sterling Shepard and all these other talented wide receivers around you, you got somebody that's going to be able to pick up the slack. So, I mean, we know that Mike Evans, every single year, it seems like he misses a game or 2 or 3. And that kick is no good by Harrison Buckner. So the score is going to be 22-9. But yeah, man, I mean, every year Mike Evans misses time due to a hamstring. So it's unfortunate. I mean, you can see he was very upset on the sidelines, knocking over Gatorade buckets. I hate to see that, man. Look, I know that, Tampa and New Orleans Saints, they're in the same division. But, I like Mike Evans. I think that he's a very talented wide receiver. I mean, when somebody's been doing it in the league as long as he has, and and continues to, get 1,000 yards and, do stuff like that, man, you appreciate watching a guy go out there and give it his all, man. It just seems like he just gets better and no signs of slowing down. So credit to him, man. But he's always been dealing with those hamstrings. Saints defense is not better than the Giants. No, it is not. It is not. Not from what I've seen today. Not from what I've seen. Man, kickers have been feast of famine lately. What is going on? I don't know. But I think it has a lot to do with the kick rule now, where you're not just kicking the ball and it's like a chip shot for extra points anymore. So it's challenging these guys. And you also have to account for the fact that, man, a lot of these kickers now, man, they can kick the ball 50 and 50, 50 and 60 yards. And now teams expect that. And now when they're missing these 58 and 59-yard field goals, it's like, man, what happened? I mean, those are long field goals. If you were Kellen Moore, what do you even tell your team? Tough day at the office, on to Cincinnati, pretty much. That's all you can say to them. That's all you can say. No need to keep on beating a dead horse, so to speak. Like, you know what it is. It was just a tough day at the office. And if they play like that next week, it's gonna be an even tougher day at the office. But I just think today, man, that a lot of Saints fans just realize, that like this is, this team isn't good. And this is how the season is probably gonna end up. And it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing, folks. Like when a team and a fan base and a team actually come to grips with themselves. I had the camera on. I'm looking down like this, made me go. But anyway, like when a team starts to look bad, starts to be bad, yeah, man, it's not a good look for a team. Not a good look for a fan base, and people just start to lose hope. And right now, it just seems like the Saints fan base is losing hope in his football team. And I just hope for the sake of the fan base, this team goes out here and tries hard. Because if they don't, people are not going to be interested in this football team. Can't have another showing like that because it's bad when a coach loses the locker room. I don't think he's going to lose the locker room. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, these guys know where they are as a team. They know what they are as a team. Man, I don't know what's up with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson threw for 450 yards last week. This week, it can barely get into the end zone. But credit to guys like Cam Scatterboo who are still running hard. I don't know, man. They just too hot and cold. And you got to wonder to yourself, like, is this the last, that we're going to see a Russell Wilson where they try to roll with Jackson Dart? All right, so catch right there by Scatterboo. He tries to get around the sidelines, and he gets enough for a first down. So Cam Scatterboo has been extremely active tonight. They have went to him in a passing game. They have went to him in a running game. And, he's been extremely effective. Seems like he's been more effective than anybody else. All right, and here we go. Here's a sack, and that's by Kalaftis. And that the pocket collapsed by Kalaftis. And that's going to be a second down. So the edge rusher out of Purdue, man, been doing it for the last 4 or 5 years now, making plays, doing some really big things. Russell Wilson tries to get outside the pocket, can't, throws the ball down the field. That pass is caught by Darius Slayton. I think that should be a first down. And if not, it's pretty close. So they're going to give him the first down. So Darius Slayton is able to convert on that second down after Russell Wilson takes the sack. So right now they got some tempo going, 4 minutes, 33 seconds, and they get the snap off, and there's a flag on the play. Russell Wilson checks it down. This pass is caught, and that's Devin Singletary, but there is a flag on the play. Let's see what's going on here. Is it offsides? Is the guys not get set? That's kind of what happens when you're running tempo. Sometimes the offensive linemen don't get set. But let's see what the referee has to say about this penalty. So illegal shift on the New York Giants. So when you're running tempo, sometimes, guys aren't set. Sometimes, when you have two individuals moving at the same time, they're going to call that every time. Can't do an illegal shift. All right, so here we go. 1st and 15. 4 minutes and 26 seconds left on the clock. Russell Wilson in the gun. And they're showing pressure. He tries to step up in the pocket. He throws it, and that pass is complete. I believe that's the Tyler Johnson. Bellinger. That's Bellinger, the tight end. So one of those guys that that's not really, involved in a passing game. And we look at Mike Kafka, was up for a couple head coaching jobs. You keep having offensive performance like this, you won't have many more. But here's a handoff to Devin Singletary to kind of give Cam Scatterbull a break. You had Tracy, who was in a game earlier. He ended up getting hurt. And we got Spags on the sideline trying to dial it up, trying to get his team their first victory of the season. Russell Wilson, 16 of 24, 125 yards, 2 interceptions, throws the ball down the field and tries to get up to Malik Neighbors in double coverage. And that pass is incomplete. So that's 4th and 5. And you have to go for it here. So this is the last chance, or possibly the last chance for the New York Giants. Possibly the last chance for the Giants tonight. I mean, football is the game of emotion. Like, you can be on an all-time high one week, and then the next week, like, you just thinking about, like, man, how can we get a victory? How do we lose this game? But anyway, 4th and 5, Russell Wilson in a gun, and they are showing blitz. And no, but they don't send it. And that pass is, caught by Robinson for the first down. Really good pass right there. Drills it in there. And Robinson shows very little fear, man. I mean, credit to Russell Wilson. Catches it in tight spaces. Looking some more. And he just throws the ball away. All right, so this is going to bring up 2nd and goal. With 3:10 left in the game, Russell Wilson and the New York Giants, 2 timeouts. We want to try to get this ball into the end zone as quickly as possible. So you have 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Really good pass right there by Russell Wilson. Zips it in between 3 defenders. And like I said, credit to Robinson, showing very little fear, being able to go on that mission to try to get the ball, to try to get his team in position to try to possibly win this football game. But there's a flag on the play, and that is intentional grounding on Russell Wilson. So nobody was in the vicinity, so they decided to call intentional grounding. Like, he's looking, and he just throws the ball away, but he's still in a tackle box. So that was intentional grounding. So that's going to push them back just a tad bit, but it might work in their favor. It's always kind of bunched up a little bit in the goal line. So gives you opportunity to kind of spread some guys out and try to see if you can actually get yourself at least a touchdown. All right, so Russell Wilson running up the middle. I don't know what's up with that, but that's going to bring up 3rd and goal. That is not what you want to do. Maybe he saw something. Maybe he felt like, the coverage wasn't there. Brian Daboll, like, turning his head, upset, frustrated. They're looking like, what the heck is going on? Giant fans, like, anything that Russell Wilson does that may not be ideal is going to be amplified because they want to see Jackson Dart. All right, so anyway, here's the snap. Looking on 3rd and goal. Russell tries to just tosses it away on a 3rd and goal. So, I mean, all right, so here we go, 4th and goal. Malik Neighbors looking like, what the heck going on? And like I said, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what happened on that 2nd down play. It seemed like he was just trying to scramble. I don't know what happened on that 3rd down play. I mean, look, bro, try to get the ball to somebody. And now this is the last chance for the New York Football Giants on a 4th and goal. See if they can get into the end zone. Snap. Russell Wilson Steps up in the pocket, throws, and who the hell was there? Who the hell was there? Somebody please tell me. Who in the world was there? Somebody please explain to me who the heck was there. Man, I don't know. And Giants fans are completely dejected. I echo their sentiments, being a Saints fan that I am. But man, my goodness, what in God's name was that? What are you doing? Like, that was like the worst sequence of plays that I've seen from a veteran quarterback. Like, at least put the ball up in the air for your tight end to try to catch it. Your star wide receiver to catch it. This man threw the ball into the back of the end zone twice. No, excuse me, 3 times, and ran up the middle one of those plays. So I don't know. I guess he liked to check in the bank already. Bro, this like watching the Saints give the man time to throw the ball O-line. Dang. I don't know. I mean, you still got to find better ways to try to find guys open. You know, give a guy opportunity to make a play. Hey, at least us Saints fans can see some kind of good football. I mean, who playing good football tonight? I seen a couple good drives by the Chiefs, but even they didn't look too good today. Dayball is one of the worst head coaches in the league. I agree. One of the worst head coaches in the league. And I really feel like the only reason I honestly don't feel like he'll probably get fired is because they probably gonna be like, well, let's see what Jackson Dart can do. And if I can't do anything with Jackson, then y'all can fire me. They'll probably do something like that. But I don't think dude is a good coach. I think that he's too much of a pompous, jerk sometimes. I think that he feels like he's the smartest guy in the room. And like, dude, you ain't even really did nothing. Like, you haven't done anything with the Giants since your first season when you won Coach of the Year. After that, you haven't done anything. Now, he's not a good coach. And like, why would the New York Giants organization want to align you with Jackson Dart when they trusted you with Daniel Jones? And from the looks of Daniel Jones right now, it looked like it was more what the Giants were not doing for him, more so than, him being just the worst quarterback ever. I mean, it's just something about playing in New York, man. No disrespect to Giant fans, but it's just so tough, man, because everybody just expects excellence like right away. It's like it's not a very patient place. And maybe it has a lot to do, and not so much the fans. It's a lot of what the media is. They sharks. Those people are sharks, man. The media, they are sharks. They smell any type of blood in the water, they're going to pounce on it. And I think it kills the confidence of a lot of people, because you got a lot of people that read those New York tabloids, reading the New York Times, reading, the back pages, and reading the sports articles, and they believe what these writers are saying, man. But most of these writers, man, they jump to conclusions because that's what it's all about for some apparent reason. But all I know is I've seen some quarterbacks come out of New York and find life. And it just seems like, once you do that, once you leave New York, it seems like you be all right. I mean, Kurt Warner left New York, took Arizona to the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know, man. It just seemed like it's just a tough place to play. TJ, if we lose next Sunday, you think we start Shuck afterwards? Might. Might. But I think they'll probably give Spencer probably a couple more starts because it's not his fault. It's not his fault they're losing. Like, he's playing well enough for them to win. But he's not playing good enough for them to, seal a deal either. He just steady, We play New York week 5. At least we know we got a win on the schedule. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. Like, that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to look at these teams and be like, man, look how they got beat tonight. This team last week put up 40 some odd points. Russell Wilson had 450 yards passing. And I'm telling you right now, like, I don't have any trust in the Saints to be able to neutralize nobody out Kansas City. Kansas City got pass rush. They got Chris Jones and Kalafdis, and and you got some really good linebackers and shut down corners. What do the Saints have? Like, what do they have? So I think you'll see a much better showing by the Giants. And plus, man, their wide receivers are very underrated. So you trusted Malik Neighbors? Kool-Aid McKinstry on Malik Neighbors? And really good coverage right there by Paulson Adebo on a 3rd and 4. So that's going to bring up 4th down. So that was a really quick 3 and out for the Giants. So let's see if they can actually get back in this game and try to make it very interesting, which I doubt. So Paulson Adebo. Oh, man. Paulson Adebo pretty much a ball hawk, man. He's a guy that when he gets his hands on the football, sometimes like he comes down with it. But really good coverage right there. He's able to get it. So, all right, so here's the punt from the Chiefs on a 4th and 4. They're trying to bring pressure. The Giants better be careful not to jump off sides, and almost got through, and this is going to be returned. He tried to get around the side. Too much tap dancing for my liking. He ain't going to do nothing with that. So that's going to set up a 1st and 10 with a little under not a little under, but 2:04 left on the clock, a little over. 4 seconds for the 2-minute warning. Almost got through. Collins was really, really close to getting that block, and then you also have the guys coming up the middle. They were close. All right, so let's see what Russell Wilson can do with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left. Down by 2 touchdowns. All right, so here we go. Russell Wilson in a gun, and there's going to be a false start. Looks like there's a false start on the center. Center of the guard. So that's going to move them back 5 yards. So John Runyon called for a false start. Taking a look at Brian Daboll, got to ask, how many more games will he be on the sidelines coaching for the Giants? Russell Wilson, pass complete to Malik Neighbors, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. Yeah, it's going to be a 2-minute warning. So right now, the Kansas City Chiefs have a 22-9 lead. And this is setting up a big-time matchup, Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. Michael Parsons returning to Dallas. And he has that game circle. He had that game circle. he ready to pounce up. He ready to inflict pain on the Cowboys. Michael Parsons and the Green Bay Packers couldn't get the job done today. And that goes to show you're not as good as everybody say you are. You're not as bad as everybody say you are. Everybody was talking about, the Green Bay Packers, they may not lose a game. The defense is just so legit. It's so elite. Nothing. The Cleveland Browns came up in there with a defensive performance. They only scored 10 points. That's why you always got to humble yourself, folks. Got to humble yourself. Russell Wilson looking. Tried to take it down. I don't know what's going on with that, man. But Cam Scatterboo got lit up on that play, but he gets right up. Michael Parsons today only had 2 tackles in the game. He didn't have a sack. So it wasn't his best showing. So credit to the offensive line of the Cleveland Browns keeping him in check today. So he's gonna be motivated to try to get after the Cowboys. I can tell you that right now. All right, but anyway, 3rd and 6. Russell Wilson in the gun. Minute and 54 seconds left on the clock. Here's the snap. Looking, and is that it? Almost intercepted. So it seemed like that was a miscommunication right there. Seemed like that was just a miscommunication right there by him and the receiver. I guess he thought maybe the receiver was going to stop, and that pass was almost intercepted. And that would have been good night, Irene. So one more chance for the New York Giants. Your defense was able to get a 3 and out, get the ball back to the offense. Let's see what Russell Wilson can do. As long as he don't throw it out of bounds and try to get it to somebody, I think he would be okay. All right, so here we go. Looking. Evades. And he is sacked. So that is all she wrote tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Daboll shaking his head. And I think most of the New York Giant fans are doing the same exact thing. Giants look better than us. Yeah, defensively, yeah. And look, man, I just hate with stuff like this, man. When you have talented wide receivers, when you got talented defensive players, talented running backs, and your team just can't get out of his own way. It's just unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate to see a team like this. Like, they got a lot of talent on the Giants team, but it just seems like they're lacking something. And maybe they just need a new voice in New York, man, to try to get this team back on the winning track. Because right now, like, they just seem like they pretty much in shambles right now. They're 0-3. They fought real hard last week versus the Cowboys, went into overtime, lost that football game. And this week, I mean, can't even score an offensive touchdown. And now it's setting up a lot of conversation. Will the New York Giants start Jackson Dart next week? Will they start him next week? All right, so we see the Kansas City Chiefs going to victory formation here. They take a knee, going to probably take one more, and that's going to be the end of this game. So the Giants, I mean, a lot of talent on this team. Now, you look across the board, they have talent to be a playoff caliber team. But some, they just can't get it done. But they're going to have to figure it out. It's game over for the New York Giants with same old song like dance. Yeah, it's the same old song and dance, man. But I see a team that can win some football games. And that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. So the final score, the Kansas City Chiefs 22 and the New York Giants 9. I mean, not the type of offensive performance that you want to see, especially coming off a 40-point performance last week. Kansas City Chiefs finally get in the win column for the first time this season. Very uncharted territory for the Chiefs. But hey, all you need is one to get yourself on a winning track and try to get yourself a couple more wins as the season progresses. And as far as the Giants, they're 0-3. But they have a lot of winnable football games ahead. They just got to make sure that they can be able to put up points and put the ball in the hands of the playmakers. All right, but thank you all so much for checking out the State of NFL podcast. I really do appreciate you all for stopping by. We'll be back on tomorrow, Monday Night Football, the Detroit Lions going to M&T Bank Stadium to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Two high-powered offenses, two teams that are really, really good. So it should be a fun game. Last time we seen the Detroit Lions, they put 50 points up on somebody. And the Baltimore Ravens are one of the most electrifying teams in football, of course, led by Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And, you got Zay Flowers. And you got DeAndre Hopkins turning back the clock. So we'll be there talking about that game on Monday Night Football. So make sure that you stop by and watch the game with us. Live watch along right here on the State of NFL podcast. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And until next time, I'll see you down the road.